politics of deception has been part of the MPP's traditional history. You know, they were very deceitful during the Nkrumah days. Yeah. They were very deceitful when we were in power. You recall Nana Akufo-Addo leading the so-called Kumipreku demonstration against VAT. Immediately they came, the first thing they did was to increase the VAT. They kicked against Get Fund, yet they relied on Get Fund to do some projects. They kicked against the NHIS when we started the piloting, yet they came back for the NHIS. So these are very deceitful people, and we must understand. Since we came to power, every good thing that we've initiated in this country, they've kicked against it. Yeah,
but to the extent that you say that the food people eat has shot up, whilst it is not true.
When it is not true. You see, last time I had the opportunity to correct one person. You know, what they do is that they sit on radio and determine the prices of items. So when he comes and say that Kenke is 1 cedi, if everybody is watching and he sells Kenke, and then he say 1 cedi, okay, then let me take it to 1 cedi. So that is what they do, and that is the game plan. You understand?
It's a carefully orchestrated strategy to get prices to rise.
Yes.
Their political advantage.
Yes.
Let me state that Nane's visit to the Upper West region was successful. He visited 6 out of the 10 constituencies. And in any of the constituencies that he visited not less than 4 communities. He interacted with people, and people were amazed at Nana. People had certain misconceptions about Nana Akufo-Addo. Let me tell you, he visited the Wa Central Market, shook a lady's hand, and the lady was just wild.
For shaking that.
Yes! That after all, she, considering where she's coming from, has gotten the opportunity to shake Nana's hand. That people say that Nana is so full of himself that he would not even extend a hand of shake to an ordinary Ghanaian. Only recently, they came round stating that they had commenced work on the Wa Hospital, Regional Hospital project.
The one that His Excellency the Vice President cut the saw.
Exactly.
Over a year. About 2 years.
2 years.
Okay, 2 years.
2 years. False. Do you know what we did before we left office? We were able to get a concessionary loan from the Egyptian government, $339 million. But the condition was that we should, I'm now zeroing in on the Wa Hospital, that we should be able to get a land, acquire a land. The then MPP government, led by the regional minister.
Then Ambrose Derry?
Yes. He called all the district chiefs executives together. They were able to contribute 36,000 Ghana cedis. So they put the money together, met with the landlords, that's the Dori community in Wa. So they gave out the land. But on that parcel of land were 2 buildings, 2 structures. So they were able to relocate those 2 buildings.
Of the money they contributed?
Yes.
Okay.
So before the NDC came, we had acquired the land, we had paid compensation, we had relocated the owners of those 2 structures in Wa. So we just handed over the project to them on a silver platter. Yet, as we speak, nothing is going on the site.
I want to take this opportunity to appeal to all Ghanaians that, God willing, on the 24th of March, the opportunity has come again for Ghanaians to go and register. We are moving away from the manual way of registering for elections into the biometric system of registration. So let me take this opportunity to appeal to our Ghanaians, those who are 18 years of age, to go to their polling centers and register. Okay. If you are not a Ghanaian, don't attempt to register. This is purely Ghanaian business affair.
Okay.
Now, so, you've asked a very important question, whether indeed development is being stalled in the Upper West region. Of course, we have to look at what we have done in the Upper West and really compare to what our friends from the other side are rather doing for the past 3 years, 2 months, 2 days. Let me start with education.
Okay.
You remember, by the act of the establishment of the UDS they are supposed to have a WA campus. God willing, when the MPP came to office, we did establish the WA campus.
That was in 2002?
That is from 2000. 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. And we had these various development there. There were 5 residential halls, there were 4 lecture halls, auditorium, modern post office on the UDS campus. Then there was no polytechnic in WA. It was MPP that established the WA Polytechnic with administration block, lecture hall complex, and a number of staff bungalows at the time. Then when it comes to industry, we established fruit juice factory at WA. Shea nut factories in 3 communities. That is Sombo, Chegi, and Wapani. We upgraded a lot of feeder roads. That is Jirapa to Saboli, about 51 kilometers road was started and completed. Willinga to Chagu, 18.2 kilometers, it was completed. Cherry to Loho, 15.9 kilometers, was started and completed. Laura to Dike, 15 kilometers, it was started and completed. Viare to Kandio, 15.8 kilometers, it was started and completed. Then we came to highways from Fianwa Habu to
I'm sure the list is endless.
So
if you could just tell us why the MPP thinks that development
let me take my time to let our viewers know.
Well, we don't have all the time as well.
Yes, it is important. Just a few minutes.
Okay.
Under health, you saw my good brother Hafiz trying to point out on the WA hospital.
Yeah.
And an amount of $339 million was secured from the initial government. And we were made to secure land immediately. And of course, compensation need to be made. The then regional minister then, my good brother and deputy minority leader, Ambrose Derry, was able to meet the families together. And the 9 assemblies were made to contribute at 36,000 Ghana cedis each to make sure we pay compensation on the land for the establishment of the hospital. Unfortunately, our friends from the other side, when they came, they didn't want to take glory for that. We established a community health nursing training school at Jirapa and the health assistant training school also at WA. All these things were things that really happened under our watch. You come to sports, the construction of the spectator stand for the WA stadium, modern dressing room for the players and the referees. The field, at that time was very bare. There was no grass on it. We regrassed it, and there was a borehole water constructed to make sure they water the place all the time. Inner perimeters were erected, a scoreboard was provided. Then we completed the presidential lodge in that area. We established 3 new districts, the WA East, the WA West, and the Sisela East. We put up the administrative block. We constructed bungalows for the district chief executive and small town water system for Bosa, Chiri, Kondogu, and Fonse. So you could see that the MPP, with the greatest of respect to the people in Upper West region, we were able to do all these things during our tenure of office as a government. But here we are, for 3 years, 2 months, and 2 days. What we have done for the people of the Upper West region is unmatched.
Okay.
It's unmatched.
Wanda, let me come to you. The WA Regional Hospital in particular, when we know that the Vice President commissioned or cut the sword for the construction to begin, but as of last week, my checks indicates that it's only the foundation that has been worked on.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you want me to respond to that directly.
Yes.
But that is a bit technical, and I said technical because there are a lot of considerations that comes into construction, and a hospital, for that matter, you should understand some of the technicalities that goes with it. It is not about lack of funding. It's more about the technical aspect. A lot of new ideas are coming, and people think that they should alter the design a little and a few things. So they will still have to sit down, reconfigure the whole project. And so
it's almost 2 years.
That's on for that is on the lighter side. You will also understand that in the President's State of the Nation's address, first of all, let me wish President Kufuor a speedy recovery. Okay. I understand he went through surgery over the weekend, and at least for that to happen in Ghana, I want to say that We want to congratulate our health professionals for what they've done so far. Okay. And I wish him speedy recovery. We in the NDC wish him very, very, very speedy recovery. Now, on a more serious note, we are not looking at just Upper West as a region. I have heard arguments from the MPP claiming that they are going to take more seats or they're going to win landslide in WA because in Upper West because we are not performing in Upper West.
We'll come to that, but for now we're looking at the developments.
Yeah, but the development is the basis for which they are making such frivolous assertions. Now, let's put on record clear. We're not only looking for, the NDC government is not only looking to develop WA just because we want votes. We're looking at the whole northern sector. And you all will agree with me that the Upper East, Upper West, and the northern region, they have similar challenges. And so it's not exclusive. It's not an exclusive issue. We have a whole authority like the SADA, which is supposed to take care of all the needs of that particular sector. And that gracefully was done by the NDC government. We've made so much funding available for SADA to do that. And this is going to be done to span a number of years, not to get votes, not because we want to just increase our seats or to defeat our opponents, but the good people of Ghana deserve it, they need it, and that's why we want to do that. Now you go on, we want to establish a share nut factory. I don't know, he said they have done 5 share nut factories in upper
3 communities, he said.
Well, so how many? Meaning how many? So more than one. I don't know of any. If he knows exactly where they are, what their names are, he can put it out. I won't debate him on that. But this I think is in process at the moment, and the government is committed to doing some of these things. Now we have been able to fix the price for share nut. A commission or an authority has been established in order to look at the whole factor of share nut production. It's not only about putting a factory there. If you put a factory there and then the proceeds, the things that goes into manufacturing are not available, what happens? So it's not about just putting the fixtures there and just making it look as if you are doing something when in actual fact you are doing nothing. He talks about UDS WA campus. For God's sake, all the projects in UDS WA campus, I have been there personally, all the projects that are funded projects. And I would be surprised if the MPP government in 2002, just a year after you have taken office, will take credit for proceeds from the GET fund. It's embarrassing. I mean, it's not a thing they should refer to at all. I think it's one of the things they should shy away from because we had no input in the formulation of the GET fund. We have done it. We did it for the people.
Now,
let me go ahead. Then we have what they call the Rural Enterprises project, which is a very fantastic project directed towards those in the north, those who have been maligned for a long time, those whose capacities in finance is not too good or in economics is not too good. We are doing all this in support of the people. Look, the NDC government has never sought at any point in time to create the impression that we're doing this because of votes. We're doing it because our people need it. We're doing it because they deserve it. We're doing it because at the end of the day, when we want to judge development, we should judge it based on across board, not because we have a preference or because we have a political agenda to win seats. No, we have always had the greatest number of seats. They have only 3 seats, Lambusi, Sisala East, and WA East. And you know what? The WA East is a creation in 2004. It's one of the seats that was created in 2004. And I know why they created. They know in that particular sector of WA, they can get the votes. And so we don't believe in using political gimmicks in order to get advantage.
But at least one of the flagship projects you started, or you cut the sword for in the Upper East region, which is the regional hospital, has still not started 2 years after you cut the sword for that. And the health of the people is equally important if you're going to ensure that the economy of the region...
You're looking at 5... I told you that one is an exception.
Yeah, you built 5 polyclinics.
Yes, polyclinics.
Yes,
and you think that is not a massive achievement?
But how about the
June, we are commissioning
hospital?
Almost all of them. Yes, the regional hospital has always been there in the first place. I mean, it's just an expansion process. It's not as if it's a new project altogether. It's an expansion project. It's a project that, they need more. They have about 100 staff on board. It's a very big hospital. But we're looking at development, and this development should take care of the needs of the people. And so if the technical experts are saying that, well, we need some other facilities to be added, and government feels it right or deems it right to do it for the people, why not? Better late than never. But we won't do it because we want political power. We won't do it because we want to win seats. We won't do it just for political gains. We will do it because the people deserve it, they need it, and we'll give it to them. And that is the commitment of the NDC government.
All right, so I think you touched on the number of seats, so I think it ties in just perfectly with the next things that we're about to discuss.
Well, I think I could
so let's take that one, then we can blend the two together. So let's take the video about whether or not the NPP is gaining ground in the Upper West region. And when we come back, then Titus, you can have your say on that as well.
As you are aware, NPP is making serious inroads. From zero in 2004, we were able to win 1 seat. KTC, Honorable Godfred Bayontown. 2008, we had 200% from 1 to 3. Wa East, Lambuse, Laura Namdom. I know we'll come to that question, but let me tell you that as we speak, we are certain of winning 5 seats as we speak today.
Yes.
5 seats? 5 seats!
So you're welcome back. Yes, Titus, you wanted to make an intervention?
Yes, I believe sincerely the people in the Upper West region are comparing the NDC and the MPP administration. You ask the young man very simple questions that he's trying to beg the issue. You try to limit him to the Upper West region for 3 years, 2 months and 2 days. And you're beating around the bush.
Hours?
And beating around the bush. Money, fortunately for you, has been secured for you. $339 million comfortably sitting waiting for you. And for all this while you're waiting for designs, additions, and what? What exactly do you want to do that you'll not be able to do? Maybe you didn't listen to me. I said 3 share not factories. Okay? One is Asombo, Chigi, and Wapani. That's what I said. You see, NDC is a party that we cannot trust and believe. I always said that President Mills is fake. You can trust him. You have come with SADA. When you are plagiarizing something that you don't own and you borrow from somebody, what goes into the creation, the thoughts, and the reality of that thing? If you don't have the know-how, that's how you fumble. Let's go to that manifesto. And listen to me. Establish a development fund. I'm reading the NDC manifesto. This is the King James version. Establish a special development fund for the SADA to be sourced from the consolidated fund, multi-donor agencies and bilateral, multilateral and development finance institution, blah, blah, blah. The initial startup contribution to this fund shall be 200 million Ghana cedis, with annual contribution from government is 100 million each year to 20 years. Once established, the government of Ghana will lead a donor conference, blah, blah, blah. As we speak now, the seed money of 200 million has not been paid. Every year you give them 100 million. So for the 3 years plus 2 years, it's going to be 500 million Ghana cedis. When MPP was living, we have contributed 25 million Ghana cedis. And this is a government that with the greatest of respect to the people of this country. You have lied to the people of the 3 northern regions.
But the 30 million
hold on. I will tell you that, look, if you can arrange, you can come together, a whole government, you can come together and give this money to Wyoming. All right? That is a clear deceit of the 3 northern regions. Wyoming has no contact with the people of this country. You have ganged up. The NDC party and government are so bruised in terms of this gargantuan Wyoming crime. And for that matter, you have deceived the people of the northern region. John Mahama, His Excellency the Vice President, was in the US. 21st of June 2011, his spokesperson, John Jinapo, Daily Graphic, said they have secured $340 million for SADA. Nothing has happened as I speak to you. President Mills, hold on, please. Let us stop all these rhetoric. President Mills was in the US and met Professor Sachs. He came down to tell the people of northern region, Ghana, and of course the SADA region, that he has secured $80 million. Add up to it. It is nothing. And that's what I'm telling you. If you can gang up and take this money that Wyoming does not deserve, has no authority, then you give to Wyoming. This is the money that we need in the northern region.
Okay, well that's
all the projects that we are talking about.
Discussion, but can we come?
All right. So that's what I'm secure. I'm saying that Harveys have told us. My people are seeing the difference. The lies, the propagandists of the NDC compared to actuals, what the MPP came to do is what they are going to use.
So you think the MPP is actually gaining grounds in the Upper West in particular?
We gradually, that has not been as strong, even though our party was formed from pillars of the Upper West region. You talk about Jato Kalio, you talk about Ifakabu. These are pillars. In fact, the NPP came from the Northern People's Party. It's an amalgam of the Northern People's Party and the All People's Party to make up the UP. So we have a root in the Upper West region. So if today our people have compared apples and oranges, and they are now seeing the abysmal performance, the lack of leadership, the poor leadership, hands-off leadership of President Mills, who could connive with Wyoming to steal the people's money, why don't they give us our votes?
I'll come to you in a sec, but if you're targeting 5 seats, when now you have 3 seats in Parliament for that particular region, it doesn't sound ambitious enough to me. I mean, why would you want to go in for just 2 extra seats if you are really sure that you are gaining that much presence in the Upper West region?
It's poco a poco. Formally, we don't have none. We had 1, we had 2, we had 3. Let us put our resources, in areas that we think that we can do, even though every constituency is going to have the necessary support from the national leadership of the party. But looking at the strength and the performance of the party and the way people are coming to us, even if you cannot win all the seats or majority of the seats, but you can appreciate your votes in those areas, particularly the presidential vote, is a good thing for us. Okay. Do you understand? So I believe sincerely looking at the performance of the MPP, and we believe that certainly there's something better that will come from the Upper West region.
When there are 10 seats in that region, currently you hold 7. Yeah. MPP has 3. Yeah. They're looking at increasing their 3 to 5. That will make it split between the 2 of you.
Yeah. Let the MPP keep dreaming. And I have to inform Ghanaians that anytime you hear the MPP talking about we'll win, we're going to take the seat, you should be wary. It's either they are about to rig, and when they rig, yeah, preparing the people's mind. When they rig, then you can accept that, well, we said that we're going to win, we won it. I will not want to go into their rhetorics. I'm more concerned about what my government is doing in that region, rather than their over.
So you can just wrap up briefly on that, but we are talking now about the...
He is talking about political party manifesto. Yeah. If there's any party in this country that has denigrated the people of the North, it is the MPP. Since when did they start adding the Dumbo to their tradition? All you hear, Dankwa Buzia. Have you ever heard that of the Dumbo?
I have heard Dumbo.
On what occasions? Even their institute. What's the name of the institute?
Well, the institute is not the only thing they have.
No, so they should not all of a sudden, with this chameleon attitude, move around and say that, well, we love the people of the North. Nothing. We were in this country when we were told that anybody you see, any truck you see carrying charcoal to Accra is from where? From the North, because they are lazy. And they are not people to be regarded. How many times did they go to the North? During their tenure, what did they go there to do? He's talking about one hospital that they built in 8 years. That's an embarrassment. And under our tenure for first 3 years, we're doing 5. Please, they told us in this country, from their own manifesto, they were going to put together a 30 to 50 billion investment fund to take care of Ghanaians, and especially to take care of the migration from the North to the South. Has that happened? 8 years of governance, they left, nothing happened. And so all this, moving around all of a sudden to just create the impression that we are the ones in love with the people of the North is neither here nor there. The truth of the matter is that the MPP has no heart for the people of the North. They have also told us in their manifesto that they were going to do a few things for the North. None of that happened. None of the things they said happened. Go to UDSY. And then he should be pardoned if those from UDSY tells him what they go through on that campus. I've been privileged to be there for some time, and I saw what happened, what they go through. It's so appalling. It's so appalling. That's not the conditions students should be going through.
Conditions as in what?
Conditions on campus just so bad. You don't have a lot of students on campus because they have limited hostel facilities. Lecture halls absent. There are the place is not guarded. Hold on, the place is not. 3 lecture halls for a whole university.
But it's just started.
It just started. 2002. It's just started. Please, let's be realistic. Let's be a bit focused. You see, fortunately for us, the UDS campus is a campus that is focused on political science. Majority of the people there, they read political science, and so they understand the dynamics. They see what is happening on the grounds. They see the fake promises that they've given to them that they couldn't fulfill. If they were doing so well, 8 years of governance, why is it the last elections when they should have proven their worth for the people of Wa, they could not win more than 3 seats? And then when it's when you're out of power that you can use all these gymnastics to say that you're doing better. No, that's not true. Let's be honest with the people of this country.
Okay, we'll be going for our next break pretty shortly, but then still on the issue of the parliamentary seats for the Upper West region in particular, are you, Wanda, are you in any way concerned that the MPP, as Titus has said, is gradually making inroads? It's gradually, the people are, how did he put it? The people are making the comparison. They are comparing the notes of the two administrations, and therefore it's more likely that the 5 they are looking at will really become 5 seats.
You see, that's another fallacy. I'll tell you why. You know, there are 3 seats that they have right now is under threat. Why is he under threat? I'll mention a few things why some of those seats are under threat. For instance, Sisala East. Sisala East has become one of the busiest places over time.
But they don't hold Sisala East.
That's their seats, right?
No. Their seats are Lambushi, Lora Nandom, and Wa East.
Okay, yes, sorry. Yeah. So, I'm sorry, I think I got the Wa East to be Sisala East.
Okay.
Majority of the things that are happening today in the north are happening across board. And I'm sure when Anado went on his listening tour, which became a talking tour, he knew, he saw the threat under which some of the few seats they have are under.
What threats do you think?
For instance, under their government, just to create the simplest, the business, the most basic of the suggestions. When they were in power, ADB Bank, people in Sisala didn't even have, ADB Bank closed down for whatever reason. You see, and that alone, you can imagine what a financial institution like ADB, does to the economic life of the people. To the point that you don't have a bank to save, to the point that you cannot go to do business and come back and save it in the bank and get some interest on it.
But generally,
and today is back.
Really
Hold on.
Are not big on banking.
It's not about Ghanaians being big on banking or not. The fact of the matter is that the banks are there to improve our economic life. And if they are there to improve economic life, and these are people who do petty trading and all that, and they could get at least some loans from the bank, some credits and all that. Okay. And they had access to none of this today. That is on course. The 5 hospitals we're building, one is in, 2 of them is in their consistency, and they know that these things coming up are going to cause us a problem. The route from Wa East to Nadoli has also been fixed. They know very well that those roads are on course, they are fixed, and things are happening right there in the north. I have traveled all the way from the northern region, Tamale, all the way to Wa before, and I've seen how the road was at the time when we went. Today, go back and see. It's not as good as we're saying. It's not as good as people will expect. But efforts are being made. 3 years of governance, efforts are being made to take care of some of those challenges that we've had in the past, all these years. For the 8 years under 3 years. I don't even see the reason why the MPP claims to be comparing records at this time. They should be comparing their first term and our first term, but they are years. So where is their evidence? All these things are on course. Go to the schools, go to the villages. Boreholes are being fixed all over the place. Rural electrification, things are happening all over, and they are seeing the threat. So this ambition of our win 3 more seats, maybe they can spare their seats again. They can decide not to contest in Upper West because we're doing fantastic. Okay. And I know the people will bear with at most to know that what is happening at the moment has to do with the whole northern sector. It's not only about Upper West, but we're doing something great for them.
Is the Better Ghana agenda still on course? We'll be right back to discuss that.
When we started that we'll build a university in the Volta region, the MPP was very, very, pessimistic about it. You heard Bruce Derry saying that it was not even necessary to go and build a university in the Volta region and in the Brunahafo region. But we kept to our promise, and we made sure that our promise to build University of Health and Allied Sciences in the Volta region came to fruition. You recall that when the president cut the sword for the project, we stated that there is an Uncle Sekar's laboratory and some other existing structures. And we are going to build emergency structures to make sure that the university kickstarts. Whilst doing that, we were working on the bill and everything to make sure that we can start admitting people and so on and so forth. It didn't come to fruition last year because Parliament had not even done their part. The bill was there, but because of the enormous nature of their job, they were not able to do it. So they were able to pass it this year. So I was confident that we'll be able to admit our first students this year. But you see, these are some of the achievements that scares the MPP. These are some of the achievements which makes them think that if they don't win the 2012 election, that is their end. These are some of the achievements which makes them think that 2012 is all die be die.
Okay. We have seen 2 petrol price increases.
Yeah.
None of which has affected premix.
Okay.
We have seen the tagging of premix transportation vehicles with monitoring equipment to ensure that premix is not diverted.
Yeah.
We have seen the coloration of premix to ensure that premix reaches its destination. Yeah. This is a president who thinks about the people. Yeah. The last time any president paid particular attention to premix, and I can say this on authority because fishermen are my constituency. Okay. In Ningo Prampram, it's a fishing constituency. Yeah. The last time any president in the history of this country paid attention to fishermen on this scale was Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings. Okay. Do you understand me? Moving forward, just about 2 weeks ago, we saw the commissioning of 4 brand new naval vessels, which were supposed to protect Ghana's territorial waters. Yeah. One of the core mandates of those 4 naval ships is to ensure that they curb the menace of pear trawling, which is an anathema to the fisherman, the Ghanaian fisherman, because pear trawling puts the Ghanaian fisherman out of business. Yeah. Fishing with lights puts the Ghanaian fisherman out of business. Yeah. And this is engaged in by predominantly, not only, but predominantly foreigners who flout the laws of this country. Yeah. The president, in keeping true to the promise he made to fisher folks in 2008, when he met them as candidate meals, that I will take care of you because I care for you, because I'm a father for all. Be you a market woman, be you a taxi driver, be you a fisherman, be you a mechanic, be you a carpenter, be you an artisan, be you a caterer, he is your father. He says, I will take care of you. He has ensured that we have safeguarded their means of going to fishing, which is premix. Yeah. If the fisherman doesn't have premix, he can't go to sea.
Okay, you're welcome back. The discussion still continues. Better Ghana fishing. Let me start with Wanda.
Yeah, I think we heard it all. It's important that, you know, the MPP keeps making that comparison that under the tenure fisheries was better off, and if they try to run around with some propaganda around that issue, because they said that even under our tenure fishermen went on strike or something of the sort. I mean, some strike that we knew was masterminded behind the scenes by them. They turn around and say fishermen, but you see.
But if you talk about
if you talk about development within the fishery sector, people forget that it's not only going to the sea, it's not only what happens at sea. The lives of those people who are fishermen. I am from fishing community. In fact, I fish. I know how to fish. I come from the Noah Flower, so that's a busy, fishing environment. You see, the MDC government is developing the coastal areas. It's not only in the fisheries, we're also looking at tourism within our coastal belt. And now, all these things that we're doing is to enhance the economic life of our people. We're enhancing it through rural electrification. We don't want them to go to the sea, come back, and then sleep in darkness. That won't work. We're enhancing it through the premix. All subsidies have been absorbed by government. They don't have to pay extra. When there's shock on the international market with respect to oil or fuel price increases, they don't get to feel that.
But at least there's been one increase.
There's also a commission. There's also a commission that has been working closely with the Ministry of Agri that deals with the premix.
But still on the premix, as I was saying, you reduced it when you came, but then it went up again.
Well, it did went up because at the time when we came, it wasn't in the form in which it is. We're looking at better quality. We're looking at enhancement of their outboard motors. We're looking at how that it will benefit them. If I buy fuel at 7 Ghana cedis and then I can't do business more than the 7 Ghana cedis, what is the business of buying it? And so what we looked at was to enhance the quality of the premix fuel that they were using, also enhance distribution channels, also bring it to their doorsteps. That's why we had to even include the people at the seashore themselves, at the shore themselves, to be part of some of those committees that does the distribution and all that. Just last month, we heard that a few communities, out of the proceeds that they've gotten from even the sale of the premix to themselves, have been able to do something for themselves. And so this is a whole lot of projects. The coastal belt is being developed. We have roads being fixed on the coastal belt. You are looking at also the landing beaches. You know, as outlined, the landing bases. We're going to have about 12 of them on our coastal belt. And we're also looking at fishing harbors. You see, the people you are looking at here are not just people who go to sea and come back. Sometimes you need a small harbor where they can be able to converge, where their boats don't crash at the end of it, because sometimes the tidal waves goes up and all that. And so it's a coordinated plan. It is not one of, people of Denu are complaining, so let's go and do it for them and get votes. That's not, you see, that has never been the focus of the NDC government. What we are looking for is a coordinated approach in delivering on the mandates. And it doesn't really matter how long it takes. The most important thing is that it comes and it benefits the people of this country. That's the what. Now don't move away from me yet. We also have the fisheries and aquaculture development thing coming up and all that. You see, fisheries, people are looking at it only from the sea, but our Volta River, those in Akosombo, those in Sogakope, those in Akuse, they're all doing fishing, and we should be able to protect all these people, the interests of all these people. That's why the 4 naval boats that the president went to commission to stop patrolling and light fishing and all that.
I want my dear brother Wonders to stop saying that he knows the North. He has been to Upper West and those things, because actually he doesn't know Upper West. If he knows Upper West well, and he's telling us all the projects in UDS War Campus is being funded by Get Funder, it's a lie. The 2 lectures hall, lecture 1 and lecture 2, was being constructed by the MPP government. The other 2, the Spanish lab on UDS War Campus, was built by the MPP government. And also the auditorium, the UDS War Campus auditorium, was also built by the MPP government.
Okay, can you...
And he's saying that the NDC is a political party that should be loved by the people of the North. It's a blatant lie. The NDC has done more worse than good to the people of the North.
Okay.
Let me tell you one thing. I come from Bongo in the Upper East region.
Jonathan, you have to wrap up for me.
Bongo, actually, you can't travel on it. And look, these people came and told us that when they come to power, they are going to construct it. Ask me now, 12 kilometers road, have they constructed it?
Okay,
when the NPP came, they constructed and left. After that, it's lying there.
Thank you, Jonathan. We have to take our next caller. Aziz from Wa. Hello, good evening, Aziz.
Yeah, good evening. This is Aziz Donla from Wa.
Yes, keep it snappy for us.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Right. I just want to thank my senior brother over there. But what we want to tell the NPP is very clear, that Ghanaians will judge them come 2012. Whatever they are doing, trying to blackmail this presidency, will not work. Ghanaians have seen what they have done within their 8 years in governance. You see, they are now trying all possible ways to blackmail President Mills and the NDC government. It won't work. Come to Wa here. You go to our, let me just shift to our constituency, which is the Wa East constituency. If you get there currently, rural electrification is all over the country. In that community, we are not having secondary school there. We are having community center. We are having good road network there. What do we want again? We don't want people to come and put money into our pocket. We want quality education. This is the kind of development that we want. One president to be well focused. He shouldn't mind the unlawful criticism.
All right, Aziz.
Since 2000.
Aziz, thank you very much. I have to pick my last caller now. We ran out of time. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Fine evening.
Your name and where you're calling from? I'm very well, thank you.
I'm calling Swala Hohoi.
Okay. Go ahead and keep it brief.
I want to contribute to the program.
Sure, make it brief.
Yeah, if you let me tell the NDC guy sitting there making blah, blah, blah. Master, these NDC people are polluting Ghanaians, their mind. They are deceiving Ghanaians. Look, if you came to Hohoi North, Hohoi Government Hospital, the midwifery, MPP was building story building before they go out of power. These people were claiming as if they were doing a lot of projects in Hohoi here. There's only one school I saw they started a new thing, and the course finished. Apart from the project they were doing building in Hohoi, proving as if they are doing, was started with from previous government. Even in their Green Book, there is some health clinic, they say achievement of 50 achievement, which based by MPP have it when you are going to have it before the barrier. You see, this how they deceive Ghanaians. You know, NDC government, God will punish them.
Okay, thank you very much, Collins. Now, let me come back to the studio and take a final words. Let me start with you, Titus. 1 minute.
What I want to say is that the young man was talking about something he's reading from his paper, that we don't have an industrial policy for Nanado. You should try and go and look for a copy of our manifesto. Maybe it is we're clearly there what we intend to do. Let me also take this opportunity to tell the people of Tamale that because of the deceit and lies of President Mills and his government that is so bruised, we are bringing a demonstration on the 13th of March to see why they have used the, what they call it, the SADA to deceive the people of North. Monies that could have gone into SADA, okay, have been given to Wyoming. Somebody who had no contract with the state. And the NDC government under Professor Mills are doing everything humanly possible to make sure they rubbish that thing. Okay. But that will not fly because Ghanaians have known the truth. They have colluded with Wyoming and still the people's money. And the people of the North are better to have this money to be used in developing the 3 northern regions.
Wanda, your 1 minute.
Thank you very much. Let me respond to the gentleman, the youth organizer who called. I'm in a better position to tell him what happens in UDSY because I was former NUC's president and UDSY was one of my campuses. And in fact, our last Congress was held in UDSY, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Go and look for the Get Fund Act review, the Get Fund Project review, 10 years review in 2010. You will observe that the Upper East region, the Northern region, and that of the Upper East region benefited the least out of those projects. And the highest amongst them was Ashanti region. For whatever reason, God will leave it to them to judge. Will leave it to God to judge. Now, on the other whole issue, it's important that when the MPP talks, yes, when they talk, they should be a bit realistic. At least, if not for anything at all. Kerosene is one of the basic things that is consumed by those in the coastal belt.
It's in short supply.
If you don't know. And you know what? In under their tenure, it was at 4,500 when they came. By the time they were leaving, it was 57,000 Ghana cedis. So what help have they given to the people of the coastal belt? These double standards must cease, and it must cease on the altar of truth.